Welcome back to Dan Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie $1 Million Man, released in the year 2018. The movie opens on a college party where some seniors are mocking a new student named Tsukumo due to his stammer, but another guy, Kazuo, stands up for him and takes him outside. The pair quickly become friends and start spending most of their time together. With Kazuo's support, Tsukumo gains the confidence to tell a story during a successful rakugo session, making everyone believe they complete each other and are stronger together. As their friendship grows even stronger with time, they go on a trip to Morocco. In the African nation, while searching for their hotel, they are approached by a stranger who offers to help them for free, but later demands money after taking them to their destination. Kazuo intends to cave into his demands, but Tsukumo does not allow it, saying he offered help for free. This offends the stranger, who argues with them before angrily leaving. Now settling in at their hotel, Kazuo suggests they keep their money in their shoes for safety, which makes Tsukumo think he is way too cautious. The next day, while roaming the city together, Kazuo passes out in a shop and damages some crockery as he falls to the ground. The situation gets intense as the owners start yelling at them, but Tsukumo handles it by paying the owners before rushing his friend to the hospital. Waking up later back in their hotel room, Kazuo thanks him for his help and asks about the money. Although the shopkeeper demanded 300,000 yen, Tsukumo did not try to bargain, as his only concern at the time was with his friend. Seeing Kazuo is worried about how to return the money, Tsukumo assures him he will get it back from his insurance in Tokyo and urges him to just enjoy the trip. While visiting the desert the next morning, Tsukumo reveals that he decided to quit college and start his own business because he does not want to wait any longer. Surprised to hear this, Kazuo tells him it won't be easy without a lot of money, but Tsukumo discloses he has been trading stocks and has already saved over 100 million yen. Tsukumo then shares that he plans to open a startup enabling people to trade online more easily. As Tsukumo has always been curious about how money works, he has done a lot of research and found that its value is subjective and entirely dependent on people's needs, which is something he will base his startup on, giving consumers the freedom to decide the value of things that mean the most to them. As he talks about his dream, Kazuo realizes he does not stutter while talking about something he really likes, which upsets him because he thinks he does not really know his true personality. Sensing this tension, Tsukumo tells him he has always been interested in money, but it won't change anything between them. However, although they make wonderful memories on the trip together, they somehow lose contact over the years. It is now 10 years later, and Kazuo is working 2 jobs, at a library by day and a bread factory by night. He is currently going through some serious financial troubles as he has to repay a 300 million yen loan taken out by his missing brother. His situation is already so bad, he has been made to live away from his wife Masako and his daughter Maduko, who only visit him occasionally. On one of these visits, Kazuo takes his daughter outside, where they meet an old lady who gives them some coupons for a lucky draw. They win the lottery tickets, and although Kazuo is not happy about it, Maduko cheers him up, saying they might be the winning tickets. And it turns out she was right, as Kazuo wins 300 million yen at the lottery the same night. While thinking about how to use his winnings, he discovers many people who won the lottery before end up right back in a miserable state. So he decides to seek help from his old friend Tsukumo, who is now a successful businessman. After telling his friend about his new fortune, Tsukumo advises him not to keep it in a bank, but rather bring it all to him. Kazuo acts on his advice and shares his excitement that the money will help him repay his debt and finally be able to live with his family again. He then asks his friend how to spend the leftover money, and Tsukumo tells him that although he does not know how to use money, he can help him to understand it. However, he does suggest he spends some of the money to enjoy it and asks him to throw a party. However, at the party, Tsukumo gets him drunk and runs off with all his money. Waking up in the empty house the next morning, Kazuo rushes to the locker to find all the money is gone. Unable to reach Tsukumo, Kazuo visits Akira, a girl he met at the party last night, and asks if she knows of his friend's whereabouts. Although she claims he was a stranger to her, Akira reveals she knows about his business, Buycom, an auction app which is widely popular in Japan. Akira later takes him to meet ex-CTO of Buycom, Momose, and he reluctantly shares what happened. Momose then tells him it was not Tsukumo who turned Buycom into a successful venture, but him. However, after some time, Kazuo realizes Momose won't be of any help as he does not give any useful information about Tsukumo. Momose then teases him, saying the money wasn't his anyway because he did not earn it and only got it by luck. Kazuo leaves with Akira, disappointed. Kazuo feels betrayed by Tsukumo and doubts his intentions, but Akira says he must have been a real friend because after winning the lottery, Kazuo went straight to him despite the years they spent apart. Determined to continue his search, Kazuo approaches another Buycom ex-employee, Kyoto Senju, who now gives financial advice to people. Kazuo learns he once had a key position at Buycom, but as the company went through a rough patch, he and Momose convinced Tsukumo to sell it. Kazuo then attends Kyoto's show, where he tells people money is just an illusion and they don't need it to pursue their dreams. His words really seem to impress people as they start throwing money on the stage after he encourages them to get rid of it. But as the show ends, Kazuo realizes he too was a fraud as his staff collects the money for themselves. Kazuo confronts him about playing with people's lives, but Kyoto tells him they do it of their own free will, and although the amount is not of much value for them, it can solve other people's problems. Kazuo once again requests his help in finding Tsukumo, who leads him to Tsukumo's former secretary, Towaka Yoshuda, hoping she might know his recent location. Before going to see Towaka, Kazuo stops by Maduko's ballet classes, where his wife reveals he already told her about the money, though he has no memory of the conversation. Although she thought it was just a drunk dial, Kazuo shares the whole story with her. He assures her he will soon repay the debts with the money and they will be able to live together. But instead, she asks for a divorce. He tries to change her mind, but she insists he is no longer the person she met who cared about his family. Thinking she just does not believe him about the money, he decides to resume his search and meets Towaka. However, he is surprised to see her living in public housing, despite supposedly making billions from the Buycom sale. She reveals that officials started using the app for human trafficking, and although she protested, everyone turned a blind eye as long as they were getting their shares. She then tells him she does not even want to remember that time of her life and is now married a simple man who is content with a life where their basic needs are fulfilled. However, it is soon revealed that she has kept all the money hidden inside her house, saying everyone keeps saving money until they die and leave it behind, and that's how money works. When Kazuo asks if she regrets selling the company, she remembers a time where Tsukumo tried to save Buycom, but the staff went ahead with the sale anyway. At the end of their conversation, she reveals Tsukumo often mentioned his name and considered him his only loyal friend. After the meeting, Kazuo visits his wife again to give her the divorce papers, but asks her to please reconsider. He once again tries to assure her that his lost money will be enough to solve all their problems, but she tells him that he is wrong if he thinks money will make them happy. She says that money had consumed him and he never thought about things that actually matter anymore. As they watch their daughter's recital together, Kazuo remembers he was against the dance classes, which often led to arguments with his wife. He reminisces about the times they were happy despite having little money and regrets not cherishing those precious moments more. Kazuo gives up on finding Tsukumo and goes back to work at the library. While returning home the same night, he is approached by Tsukumo, who returns all his money and asks how he feels about it now. Kazuo confesses that losing the money changed his entire thought process as he learned some things are more important than money. Kazuo confesses that although he was worried, he always believed in him, realizing now that he had done it to stop him from doing something stupid with the money. Tsukumo tells him he made the same mistakes of preferring money over things that matter, and although he made a fortune, he began to distrust people around him and eventually ended up losing everything. Tsukumo says that although he succeeded in understanding money, something was always missing, something which Kazuo had just taught him. Money doesn't change people, it's the other way around. Tsukumo thanks him, saying they still complete each other, and disappears after telling him not to have any more dreams. Kazuo gets all his money back, while Tsukumo, who still keeps his money in his shoes, leaves for Morocco again. In the end, Kazuo buys his daughter her dream bike and leaves it outside their house. His wife also finds a letter where he mentions that instead of repaying the debts, he bought the bike because he has finally figured out what really matters. That was all from the video. Subscribe for more content like this and leave a like to help the channel out. Also, leave a comment if you would like us to recap your favorite movie. Take care.